Good morning. I'm going to start by reading Psalm 130 from the Message version of the Bible. Help, God, I've hit rock bottom. Master, hear my cry for help. Listen hard, open your ears, listen to my cries for mercy. If you, God, kept records on wrongdoings, who would stand a chance? As it turns out, forgiveness is your habit, and that's why you're worshipped. I wait for God. I wait for what he'll say and do. More than the watchmen wait till morning. Yes, more than the watchmen wait till morning. O Israel, wait and watch for God. With God's arrival comes love. With God's arrival comes generous redemption. No doubt about it. In my previous job, I used to have to go up to Newcastle once a week. That involved getting a train from Stevenage station, which arrived, most of the time, at 6:34 a.m. I always allowed some slack for delays, so that meant I was usually on the platform 10 minutes early. The wait was easier to bear in the summer than the winter. In the winter, I hated it. I found that simply watching the clock and looking down the track for the train not only made the time slower, but also made the wind colder. Obviously it did neither, but that's how it felt. So I downloaded a word game onto my mobile and did that in the 10 minutes. And then the time whizzed by, and I didn't feel so cold. It would be so easy to use this as an example of how to deal with the lockdown. Make sure you do something to keep yourself busy and time will fly by. If I did that, I don't think I'd be able to look any of you in the face when I next meet you. No, upsizing from occupying 10 minutes on a railway station platform to occupying several months of staying at home is a bit of a stretch. The intention of doing that Couch to 5K app, learning how to play Mahjong, or cracking open the 3,000-piece jigsaw puzzle of a cloudless blue sky doesn't seem to fit the bill 9 months into this pandemic. The other thing, of course, is that the train always turned up. Maybe sometimes a bit late, but it always arrived. Yes, we know we have the vaccine and that will bring better times, but we just don't know when, or even quite how. What with the uncertainty over different variants, the strain on the NHS, and the continuing rising deaths which have passed that sad total of 100,000. The path of being vaccinated is an awful lot more complicated than a train on a railway track. So why did I start with this example? Well, it has felt a little to me like the psalmist in the psalm I've just read. I wait for God. I wait for what he'll say and do. More than the watchmen wait till morning. I waited for that train in the same way as the watchmen waited for the morning, with expectation. The dawn always came for the watchmen so they could end their duty. Now, I'd love not to have to talk about the idea of waiting right now, but it is important for us. After all, there's nothing worse than being told to wait. And I think the last 9 months have proved that. Actually, there is one thing worse than being told to wait. It's being told to wait patiently. Because we may not want to do that. And yet in the psalm, that's exactly what God tells us to do. He doesn't use the word patience, but he does build the expectation that waiting will end in something glorious. Tricky to apply where we are and how exhausted and worried we all feel. But God understands that. Remember, the psalmist starts at rock bottom. Help, God, I've hit rock bottom. Master, hear my cry. So from feeling so low, how does the psalmist get to the position of hoping with such expectation? The psalmist realises that the issue isn't about waiting. It's really about what they're waiting for. Waiting for something lovely like Christmas is so much more delicious than waiting to say, go to the dentist's. So I didn't exactly wait with patience for my train, but I waited because I knew it would turn up. We may feel considerable impatience about waiting to be vaccinated, but we will wait because we know it works and it makes it worthwhile. But when we wait for God, the quality of waiting is completely different, and it's much closer to that delicious feeling of Christmas. And it's because God doesn't just turn up or just work. When he comes, he also brings love and generosity and forgiveness. And that makes it worthwhile to wait with patience. Help, God, I've hit rock bottom. Master, hear my cry for help. Listen hard, open your ears. Listen to my cries for mercy. If you, God, kept records on wrongdoings, who would stand a chance? As it turns out, forgiveness is your habit, and that's why you're worshipped. I wait for God. I wait for what he'll say and do. More than the watchmen wait till morning. Yes, more than the watchmen wait till morning. O Israel, wait and watch for God. With God's arrival comes love. With God's arrival comes generous redemption. No doubt about it.